You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issue with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. There isn't any real fan of R. Kelly who does not remember the heated interview Azriel Clary and Jocelyn Savage did with Gayle King in March of 2019, where the two girlfriends of his spoke out and emphasized how they were so in love with him, and were okay being with him as a pair. Confronted with the question asking how they could both be in love with him at the same time, Azriel said it out loud and clear that each one of them had a separate relationship with him, and as a team of three, they are family. They even made it clear to Gayle King how much of a close family they were, describing how they went to amusement parks and sometimes to the movies together and it was perfect. Asked whether they were intimately involved with R. Kelly at the age of 17, Azriel made it clear to Gayle and whoever was listening in on this interview that this was not true. She actually detailed the parents' involvement in this matter, mentioning that when she first met R. Kelly, her parents advised her to lie about her age so that R. Kelly would be fooled into thinking she was 18. She also opened up about her parents' sinister motives when she said that they encouraged her to take multiple photos with R. Kelly, and record intimate scenes with him to use just in case they ever want to blackmail him, what they are trying to do now. These were very strong allegations no woman makes against their own parents if there wasn't a level of truth in it. In life we do so many crazy things, but brainwashed or not, these are not allegations a woman makes about her parents just to please a man. Even though Azriel may currently regret the things she said that day, it doesn't necessarily mean they weren't true. I find this comparable to situations where a parent hands her child to law enforcement when they committed a crime, and later the same parent appears in court defending the same child and saying their child is innocent. Noticing the pain and anguish the child is undergoing may cause a parent to regret her previous action, but this sudden regret of previous deeds doesn't necessarily mean the child is innocent. Actually, when Azriel revealed the parents were in cahoots to blackmail R. Kelly, she simply confirmed our suspicion. For the past years, this is exactly what I had been thinking, and it wasn't surprising at all to hear it from Azriel during this interview. Meanwhile, Azriel did proceed to give even more disturbing details indicating that her father had been threatening R. Kelly, saying to him he was going to ruin his name by releasing pictures of him with his daughter to the media if he didn't send $20,000 to a bank account he controlled by Monday. According to Azriel, this was trying to solicit her like she was some kind of property she isn't. And indeed she was right. This was a man soliciting her own daughter. The final stage a man can get to for the love of money. According to a second Gayle King interview, this time with Azriel alone in September 2021, the ex-girlfriend to R. Kelly spoke again, this time telling us she regrets the control she gave to R. Kelly over her life, and also alleging that R. Kelly had drilled them on how to respond to questions prior to the first interview. But sincerely, who goes on national television and makes such allegations about her own parents and there is no truth in it? A psychological analysis of Azriel's situation reveals that the claims she made against her own parents had to be true, and the only thing she regrets is the step she took to expose their illegal habits of targeting celebrities with the hope to make a killing through blackmail. Also important to note is that the second interview took place after she had testified in court against Robert. She likely felt the need to update the world on her new position, and rubbish her previous interview which incriminated her own parents. It's actually possible that it is her parents who put her to task in order to reverse what she said on the very same platform with Gayle King, as a way for them to hide their already dirty laundry. This is likely how the events between the first and second interviews unfolded. In March 2019, Azriel is determined to defend R. Kelly to her last tooth for the truth she knows. This is the man that took good care of her. Her parents only want money from him and are threatening to break them apart. But R. Kelly actually does treat her nice and she loves him. So she stands in the gap and tells Gayle King the truth, even if it damaged her parents' reputation. After all, it was the truth. The government needs her to testify against R. Kelly so badly, but realizes that the only way to turn these women against Kelly was to take him away from them and suffocate the women financially. R. Kelly is taken into custody and duly denied bail for this very reason, to make the women go bankrupt. This suddenly cuts off their only source of finances. They continue to stand with R. Kelly and visit him weekly at the MCC to negotiate supplies for their welfare. R. Kelly continues to take care of them even while in prison, but with his music muted and his cash flows completely sabotaged by Sony Records, he can't keep up, and sooner than later, his girlfriends are evicted from the Trump Towers. Reality hits that she now had nowhere to go but to return home to her parents, who she had exposed during the Gayle King interview. Out of options, Azriel decides to mend her relationship with her parents, but it comes with a condition. "Yes, we love you, daughter, but you did expose us a great deal when you revealed our little secret of how we had planted you into R. Kelly's house to make us a killing, and how we were attempting blackmail when he gave us nothing in return. For us to accept you back, you will have to agree to testifying against him in court, and later take a counter-interview with the same Gayle King, and tell the world we ain't the blackmailers you described." Broke to the core as Azriel was, her parents were her only refuge, and so she obliged. The next thing we hear, she is in court telling a different story, and later back on CBS with Gayle King reversing the damage she had caused her parents. That's why when she was asked which part of the first interview was a lie, she simply answered everything. There was no way for her to start sorting from the real truth, areas to shade gray and leave the others intact. This interview being the deceitful one, this was going to be a lot of work for her. The fact that Gayle King did not take another interview with Joycelyn Savage, who remained consistent with her defense for R. Kelly, shows that the second interview was more than likely requested by Azriel herself, on the instruction of her parents, who were definitely embarrassed by the truth she had told during the first interview. This is why Gayle looks unusually unprepared, with no real questions for her to answer, considering it wasn't her interview, and Gayle already knew what she was going to say. Azriel is just being tossed from one caretaker to the other, and these caretakers are fighting. This provides a perfect situation for one to contradict her own truth, and replace it with lies to protect her new caretaker. I am sure if R. Kelly was released like right now, Azriel would quickly run to him crying crocodile tears and asking for his forgiveness, telling him how her real daddy put her up to this. If you have been as confused as many people are wondering which of these two interviews you should believe, I want to believe you now have your answer. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.